Okay, on to step 2. Step 2 meaning we already did all of the machine work, and then this is just going to be how to make the bag. So this will just be the finished project. So it is going to end up making this. So I'm going to tell you how to make the actual like bag, how to add rivets, and how to add the grommet. All the information is actually in like the tutorial about sizes and different things, but I'm still going to walk you through it so then it helps out. So firstly, you're going to have to cut out your bag. So your bag is in the hoop right now. You're going to pretend that it is, well, actually, you don't have to pretend because it's in your hoop. One of those days, you know, homeschooling's got me like crazy. So it's in your hoop. You take it out. You're going to take all of the tearaway stabilizer out from it. So it's going to look like a sandwich. I prefer to cut a little bit of a blip around the zipper. It kind of just gives it a little bit more leverage than having it be super tight to the bag, because sometimes the teeth end up getting pulled through like after a lot of use, and we don't want that. So I also dovetail this bottom part of the liner so then you have something to sew. So right now you're going to have a hole right there in between your liners. So you're going to push through. This bag is no different from the other bags that you do in this step. So if you know how to do those, you can fast forward, because then you don't have to listen to me. So after we do it, you need to make sure you poke all of your edges out in this step, even though this isn't your final step, because then it's going to make the other steps easier. So now you've flipped it, and now you have the inside of your liner and you have your zipper. So I put my fabric in kind of where the dovetails are, like I said, and you're going to sandwich it together and make sure this is all pretty and nice, because this is going to be the inside bottom of your bag. And then all you do is, once you've sandwiched it nicely, then you can do a ladder stitch all along the edges. I'm not going to do a ladder stitch right now for you because it's just going to take time that I don't want to waste on this video. Then you're going to have this, which is the inside, well, the back side of your zipper. I already took the stabilizer out because this is not the first take of the video I've done, because I messed up a part. But we'll just keep that a secret. Imagine there is stabilizer. Actually, it is right here. So originally, it was all in here. Pretend. Then you're going to rip it out. I usually kind of use like a little scissor to get in the edge, and then I use my fingers so I don't mess it up. So then it's kind of nice because it has a little string on it from your basting stitch, so it should all kind of pull out together. So you make sure this is all clean. Then imagine you already sewed this, so this is shut. Your edges are nice, and then you're going to flip it one more time. So on this flip, this will be your final flip, so definitely make sure all of your corners are pushed out and all of your things are nice, because this is what your bag shape will look like. I mean, sometimes you're going to have to kind of squish it down and form it a little bit later, but you get what I mean, like that it's going to look like this. Okay, so now your bag is flipped and it's pretty. So you have zipper, you have the grommet. These are going to be where your rivets are, or whatever, if you use some kind of other like eyelet or fancy hardware, if you're going to get crazy with it. You have a bunch of all of your stitch spaces. So next step is to put the rivets in. I use a leather puncher this way. The information is in the tutorial, or it's also on the Facebook group about which ones we prefer to use and which ones are better. This one's just from Amazon and it's awesome. So you find the size that you need and then you're going to put it in the bag and see where the little stitches that you already did. You line it up correctly right over the hole and you punch. Super easy to do. I'll show you one more time to make it. So second hole down, we're going to slide it over. So you want to get the, it's going to go through your front of your bag and the liner. So now, obviously you're going to do all of the holes, but since I'm just doing this video to just get you kind of an idea, I'm going to skip some. Okay, so you have different choices here. Your choices are rivets, eyelets, grommets, all of the things that you could find to put in the bag to make it pretty. So for this one, I use super fancy rhinestone ones, and it's because they're awesome, but you know, what else. I have gold ones, I have rose gold, I have silver, I have gunmetal, I have all of the things. This bag is kind of like a weird gunmetal brown, so I'm just going to use silver. So the way that you do this is you have, you can have a rivet setter kit, which is basically an anvil and a thing. You have to use a hammer. So this is what they do. So you have the setter, the rivet cap, the anvil, and the rivet post. I don't like to use that because you have to use a hammer, and these are small rivets, so you can kind of not have to do all of that. So what I do is, this is the pointy one, like kind of the one that looks like a nail, and I am going to poke it through the bottom side of the bag, so the little sticky pokey side is up, and then I'm going to put the end cap on. Obviously your choices range here, because if you're going to be doing a rhinestone or a different edge, obviously you're going to have different sides. But for me, this one is the exact same on both sides, so it doesn't really matter which way that I apply it. But I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use my snap tag, my cam snap puncher holder. What is this called? It's a thing. You know what I'm talking about. So this squishy side, and then this is the flat side. Whatever side you want to be pretty is going to be on the black side, because it's not going to squish. So for instance, this is the end cap, and I'm going to do it like this, because then I can see exactly where the edge is going, and then that way I know that it's flat. Again, this is kind of just a me thing that I choose to do this. If you don't do that, that's fine, because you have your own wiggle room and you're able to do whatever you want. But it works fine, and see how it's nice and shiny. But if you did it the opposite way, see how there is a punch, so it does kind of make it ugly, but no one's going to see the inside, and it's still smooth. It doesn't have any pokies or whatever. So it's up to you how you do it. But all I'm saying is that, let me go over this one more time. This is the nail side, and then this is the cap, okay? The cap side, whichever way you put it through your bag, whether the cap is on the inside or the cap is on the outside, the cap has to be this black part, because the cap is going to be where it stays flat. If you don't do it that way, then what's going to happen is you are going to have that. Do you see how it kind of just looks like a dent? So that's not really pretty, but then the back side is perfect. And again, that's only if you do the cheater version. So it's completely up to you. Okay, so that's how you do your rivets. And again, usually the rivets that you buy, they'll come with a kit. And so if you want to use the way the kit does it and you want to do the right way, go for it. If you want to do the wrong way, because that's kind of my MO, then do that. So I'm going to tell you a fancy little trick. The bigger grommets that are going to go through here, this grommet, those grommets, you can get them from sewing sites. You can get them from all of the things. But there's a little cheater, and Harbor Freight or like Ace Hardware stores have them, and they're the same grommet that you'd use for tarps, like the big blue tarps. And unfortunately, if you guys are watching this internationally, I can't help you because I don't know what the whole plan is with that, and sorry. But this whole kit, it has 104 pieces, and at Harbor Freight it's $3. You cannot go wrong. So it comes with the thing to fix it with like the anvil and all of that. And then you have your end cap and your pretty cap. It's essentially the same exact thing as all other rivets. So the only thing is this is going to take a little bit more muscle because you do have to actually use a hammer. So I'm going to... One of my pieces fell out of the bag. Okay, so the rivets don't go through the whole bag because then that would limit your actual bag space. If you do see-through ones, I guess you could, but I'm not going to teach you how to do that because I haven't done one and I don't honestly think you'd want holes in your bag. This one does go through the complete bag. So that means you're going through 4 layers. Okay, so for me and this kit, you're going to have a hard back so you don't like ruin your table or whatever. It came with it, so you don't have to do that yourself. And then you're going to need the cutter. So the cutter fits perfectly with the situation, and this is not probably the best. I'm going to use a book. Okay, so we're going to put a book. So a little bit down farther. Okay. And this is going to super be crazy and riddle the camera, and I'm sorry. So you're going to put it in there like this. So you're going to do this here because you're going to cut. And once you line it up, you're going to hit the hammer. Obviously, you get the point of how a hammer hits. I'm going to do this harder down here so I don't mess up the thing. Give me 1 second. So funny story. It's not going to work in here and I need a harder grind. You can't do it on carpet. Story of my life. I'm really sorry because I should be doing better at these videos. But anyways, I'm going to show you on actual vinyl or paper. So it'll be easier. Okay, you ready? So there's going to be a hole in the paper. Imagine this to be your vinyl because that is going to be the easiest thing to make it explain to you. So, this is what your bag is. So, I do the pretty side, which is like the nail side, like a little bit thicker. I do that on the front. So, that is going to go in the front of your bag right here. So, on the paper, like I'll show you to make it easier since I don't have cement in my sewing room. You're going to poke this through the vinyl. And then the back side, which is the really, really thin side, you're going to put on the opposite. Now, you have this fancy tool, which is the setter. It fits right in here. Like the top part and this part fit perfectly. So it looks like this. Okay, again. This is the top. You're going to put this through the front of your bag, and then you're going to put your bottom thin piece. So this goes down. So essentially the front of your bag is going to be facing the ground, and then you're going to sandwich your piece on top, and then you use this tool and you poke it right in like that. And then all you do is you go boom, 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 hammer it in, and then it's going to look flat. So in this bag, we have the front side of the bag, and then we have the back side is like that. So now you can flip it in any way you want. This also works for crossbody if you want. There's a step in the other purses for that. So that should be everything, I believe. If you have any questions, get to us on the Facebook group and an admin can help you out. Thank you. Bye.